If you're an ambitious dad that wants to grow and expand, then you've likely felt the pain of starting something new and that guilt that comes along with it. But in this video, I want to help you understand and implement things that won't take you away from your family and let you be the father that you want to be. I'm Chris. I help dads manage burnout, understand their ambition as a father, and how to make that happen. I've got 10 years in military planning and risk, and I'm a father to one, so I understand the struggles that you're going through. And at the moment, I'm building a community for like-minded dads who want that success without losing presence and time with their families. The link's in the description. I think so. First off, we need to dispel that traditional time management. The fact is that it doesn't work for dads. We aren't the same as single, free and easy individuals. Our time is constantly taken up with things to do, be it washing, work, looking after the kids, and then somewhere along the line, trying to stay fit and healthy and grow something for ourselves. And so within that, those productivity hacks, they don't work. They are a single track mind of if you do A and manage it this way, you will get a B result. Unfortunately, that isn't the case for fathers, and I'm sure that you can agree. There is generally an assumption that you are time free with these productivity hacks. And so what I want to do is give you some ideas on how you can make that work for yourself. And the first of those is microbursts. So it's finding time in your day. It could be 5-10 minutes and putting something there that's for you, that you can do alongside everything else that's going on. There's an analogy of two groups of people put together. One group was told to make as many pots as they could in 30 days, and the other group was told to make one perfect pot. And at the end of those 30 days, they were put together and they were judged. And the results were astounding. We're looking at 30 pots, and by the time that they'd done those repetitions, they did it rough, they did it quick, as many pots as they could possibly make. And in the end, they had the better one. As fathers, we don't have time to wait for something to be perfect. The way that I look at it, and that has worked for me of late, is rough is better than ready. It doesn't matter whether it's perfect, so long as you're doing something, that's what makes all the difference in this. And the second element of this is that intention meets action. If you have a goal, you have something that you want to achieve, that intention is already there. And so all we're trying to do is to really just finesse it into the right area, make that action come forward, and then we're off to the races. One really good way of doing this, and as a dad, it takes a lot of the stress of not being perfect, not having all that time to do what you need to do all the time, is setting yourself a daily minimum. So one thing, if it's that you want to build a business, that's creating one piece of content. That's your daily minimum. It's something that you can fall back on if, for example, your child ends up in hospital or your child's ill and they're vomiting all over the place and you stink and it's a complete mess of a day. When you can have something that you can fall back to that's still making you grow, anything above that is a massive benefit. And so alongside that is removing those barriers to entry. We're not looking for you to be able to run 5k by next week if you've never put on a pair of running shoes. But the easiest way for you to train for that is by putting your running shoes near the door, because you're going to associate going out with going for a run. And it's the same as if you want to do content and you want to make content or you want to build a business, put the framework in place, put those things that you need to use or do next to where you're going to do it. I sit in my office to do my business work. I go to the forest to record short form content. Those things now they're not a barrier. That's what I do. That's where I go. That's the place that I do it in. And so if you can make that easier on yourself, then you're going to save yourself a hell of a lot of mental fatigue when you're already running at 400 miles an hour. And then finally within this is letting that action compound. When you're recording that content, it's changing one thing each time. So becoming 1% better. If you're already setting the habit as that's your daily minimum, and we're going to fall back to that, on average taking about 6 weeks to build that habit. If making the content becomes easy, then you need to start improving. What's one thing you could change? Could you change your scripting? Could you change your lighting? When you go out for a run, running 100 metres more than you did last time, those small changes in that daily minimum that you've got, that's where that growth is going to come. And it's not going to be quick, it's not. But at the end of the day, you're doing more than 99% of other people, and you're going to be a hell of a lot further ahead. And think of the lessons and the example that you're setting for your kids. And if you find yourself a little bit lost in that and you're not quite sure how to establish that routine, and want some help with that, then I'm running a 7-day reset just by your email, just one email a day from me as a qualified coach with over 100 hours of professional coaching to help you understand and move forward in the next 7 days. So again, the link's in the description for that, and if not, I'll see you in the next one.